Bless up my people. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Isabel Rose. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks to returning subscribers. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn post notification bell on. Put it on all so you won't miss an upload from me. On the road to 20k, help me to get there, my people. So in this one, we're seeing an attorney at law comes out swinging against the Privy Council as Jamaica's final appellate court. As well as we're seeing a People's National Party, Omar Newell, comes under fire for comments made against DPP. As well as we're seeing Julian Robinson urging the government to quickly settle compensation for public sector workers. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Run go over to my other platform. Subscribe over there. Get that channel to 1k for me. Please and thanks. Some people were seeing an attorney at law, Clyde Williams, coming out against the Privy Council as Jamaica's final appellate court. And this comes about after the Privy Council on Thursday overturned the murder convictions of entertainer Vybz Kartel and 3 co-accused, citing jury misconduct and improper handling of the case. And so right now, people have reignited the debate over the Privy Council versus the Caribbean Court of Justice as the final court of appeal for Jamaica. The Caribbean Court of Justice was established in 2001 with original and appellate jurisdictions. To date, it is the final court of appeal for Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Guyana, and St. Lucia. Mr. Williams says the Privy Council is a symbol of slavery and colonization and argues that the CCJ holds more advantages for Jamaicans, including accessibility to justice and ethnic and cultural representation.
Who is to say that the Caribbean Court of Justice would not have come to a similar conclusion as the Privy Council in this case? And beyond that, who is to say they wouldn't have grappled with those 2 other fundamental issues in the trial and have a more holistic judgment dealing with all the issues? Who is to say that? In the last 20 odd years, we have not had more than 13 appeals in any given year that went to the Privy Council. 13, when we have had hundreds of matters dealt with by the Court of Appeal. I've had clients who wanted to appeal beyond the Court of Appeal, but just didn't have the money to go to London. So there are questions of accessibility to justice and accessibility to your final court. And I also want to say this because of slavery. I want a court that the people look like me. May I tell you the truth? Or the people look like the melting pot of Caribbean peoples. I must tell you, I have a real issue with a court peopled by only white men, largely, only white persons, largely. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council pulls its judges from the Supreme Court of United Kingdom. They have never had a black man or a black woman in that court in the centuries that court has been operating.
And some people, I really and truly agree with having the CCJ as Jamaica's final appellate court instead of the Privy Council, because based upon the reason for the appeal, then that's where they would have made their judgment. Not looking at the evidences and all of that. They're just basing their response to what the appeal was made upon. Right? And to give you a little backstory and a real true story of one of my very own family member was one of the last persons that was hung in Jamaica. And we can probably go do a research on that. Anthony Forbes and another man named Noel Riley was wrongly accused of murder. And Anthony Forbes would have been my biological uncle. Right? And he spent 9 years in Jamaica locked up for a crime, for a murder that he did not commit. And because of a witness, went forward and gave a story that, yes, they were the men who, dirtied a businessman. Right? And he spent 9 years and he sent an appeal to the Privy Council, and they did not grant the appeal, and he was hung in Jamaica after spending 9 years behind bars. Right? And it was long after they sent another response saying that they should withhold the hanging after he was hung and killed in Jamaica for a murder that he didn't commit. So sometimes you're wondering what the justice system is really about. When you have the evidence of men, and this is not on a particular case, but any other case in general where you have the accused been charged and there is enough evidence, overwhelming evidence that could say yes, they have committed or he or she has committed this act. And going to the Privy Council or going to another court of appeal, they walk free based on what their appeal is on, versus someone else who did not commit the crime and has to pay the consequences of that. It was years and years after my people that the lady that had gave statements against my uncle came forward and saying that she lied when he was already 6'6". So the justice system needs to be reformed in Jamaica. A whole heap of things need to be done. The prosecutions, everybody from the head to the bottom, needs a whole heap of reform, people. And I totally agree with going towards the CCJ, where they'll have a better understanding of the Jamaican system in order to cast their judgment based on the appeal. Talk up and tell me what you think, my people, on this. And so in this segment, we've seen a Omar Newell, who is the junior opposition spokesperson on commerce, science and technology, was reprimanded online by a Jamaican prosecutor, Audley Duncan, over allegation on social media where he tweeted on Twitter, "We can now see why the DPP went after ISAT." And his comments came after the Privy Council verdict in the Vybz Kartel murder case. Duncan commented on the Newell's post and he said, "This is an extraordinarily disgraceful, borderline libelous comment, particularly from an aspirant to high public office." And we're seeing many other comments come underneath that tweet that he made. A whole heap of bloggers even calling it disgusting, reckless and classless and asking him to remove that comment. They're even calling on Mark Golding to reprimand him. However, I don't agree with his statement saying that that's why the DPP went after ISAT. Remember, ISAT was reprimanded for comments he made towards the DPP, and it's not her who reprimanded him or went after him. It was the GLC, the General Legal Counsel. Last but not least, opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, is urging the government to quickly settle outstanding compensation issues affecting the public sector. And it's 2 years on, there's still vexing issues affecting the public sector due to the restructuring exercise undertaken by the government. He pointed out that travelling officers have been the most negatively affected by the process, and it's evident we're seeing a whole heap of sectors coming out still not pleased with the increases that they have gotten and are still disgruntled, saying that, especially even the teachers, that they're not seeing the increases reflected on their pay.
I want to turn my attention, Mr. Speaker, to the issue of the public sector compensation review. We supported in principle the implementation of the review, which commenced last year. But there are several issues that have arisen, which despite the efforts of unions representing public sector workers, have not gotten a satisfactory resolution. I just want to explain why traveling officers, more than probably other civil servants, have been most affected. Prior to the compensation review, a traveling officer could have allowances which would represent up to 60% of their total take-home pay. Allowances which were outside your basic pay and as such outside the tax net. Those allowances have now been rolled up into your gross salary, and now you are taxed at a higher level of income tax. So for many of the traveling officers, they have ended up, in some cases, at the same level they were, or even just marginally better. Mr. Speaker, these and other unresolved issues in the review are causing stress, frustration, and anger among our public sector workers. I get calls from workers at all levels, and believe you me, there's disquiet. There are obviously some who are comfortable coming forward, but there are many others who, for different reasons, will not speak out. And when I say at all levels of the service, I mean all levels. All levels of the service. Right? But Minister, I would also say there is something that I pick up. Many of them feel a sense of hurt and betrayal, and they feel disrespected. Everybody knows the tight fiscal space that we're in. And what may seem to be small or trivial might mean the difference between whether somebody can pay for them pitney extra lessons, whether them can fix the front end on them car after it fall in a pothole, or whether them can drop them partner hand. So while I know you look at a global figure, and you might say out of the 100,000 is only 10,000 people who are affected. For each and every one of those affected, they feel a particular pain.
Cumulatively, the wage bill has increased since the restructuring, the compensation review, by 82.9%. If you listen to just what is said in the public domain, it is as if this has never happened, that $200 billion is not now in the pockets of public sector workers. I am not saying that this solves the problem of low wages, which we have traditionally suffered from. I am not saying that this is what is the limit that you should get. I am not saying that this solves the anomalies that exist. But the context of the conversation has to incorporate that a massive shift in the fiscal arrangement of the budget has been done in favor of labor. We must all as Jamaicans be careful how we exert pressure, because it will collapse our fiscal ecosystem. And governments have to be strong to manage this, not to be disrespectful, not to appear, not to understand what our workers are saying, but we have to be, brave enough to raise the issue with our workers to say, listen, we want to do more. And we have demonstrated that we want to do more by virtue of what we have done. But to do more, right, we have to grow the economy. And you are such, our workers are such a critical part, particularly our public sector workers. You are essential. It can't happen without you growing the economy.
Talk up, my people. Drop some comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think of everything that was, outlined in this video. Let us reason in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Run over to my other platform, Instagram and Facebook, and follow me over there at Anisabel Rose. Check out the YouTube store, make a purchase, it goes in support of the channel. Check out the YouTube membership, you get a lot of benefits by becoming a member. Only a small fee of $5 per month to join the Anisabel Rose membership. We do notification shout out in each and every video. To be a part of that, all you have to do is be the first to like, comment, and subscribe, and you'll be featured in the following video to come. This notification shout out goes to Horace Anderson. Big up yourself, Horace. Thanks for the continued support from each and every subscriber. New viewers, come on board, journey with me, join the family. Subscribe to the channel, like up the videos, share out the videos. Support the ABR movement on the road to 20K. Help me to get there, my people. We can do it. Get this video to at least 2,000 likes. I want to hear your points, especially on the CCJ and the Privy Council. Talk up and let me know what I say. Stay tuned for more updates. Stay tuned for more videos. Big up on yourself.